Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of Grassroots Racing Show.
Welcome to this edition of the Grassroots Racing Show. I'm Doug Thompson with co-host Roger Thompson. Roger, we've had some fantastic racing on the Grassroots Racing Show all summer, and tonight is no exception. This is the Harold LeepMemorial from 81 Speedway in Wichita. I know you knew Harold Leep personally, had great respect for him. This is a special race because this is the USAC Southwest Sprint Car series that's come into Wichita for the Harold Leep Special.
Very tough series, and all you have to do is look at some of these drivers in there and you recognize them as being the same drivers that race in that ASCS circuit. So it's a tough group of guys, and they were flying when they come down to Wichita the last time. I think it was last year we saw them. Yeah. But it's quite a lineup for tonight's race.
Oh, it is.
And it's going to be recorded, of course, by Mike Kraft, so we'll look forward to seeing the usual in-car camera and the great job that Mike does.
Yeah, I agree with you. The racing's fantastic, and Harold Leep, of course, had lots of success at Wichita in the NCRA series when you raced against him. And
he had success wherever he went.
That's right. Yeah, exactly right. And he was a gentleman, and I know you thought an awful lot of him. So when we come back from break, we're going to take you to the starting lineup at 81 Speedway. Stay tuned.
Sutherland alongside Joe Woods Jr. in the 03. Row number 2, it's Magic Mike Martin, the 16 car, the 41W of the real deal, Rick Zeal. Inside row number 3, the 74X of Josh Hodges and the number 7, Shannon McQueen. Row number 4, it'll be the 99. There he is, Brady Bacon out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. He picked up the feature win last night at Sapulpa. And the 77M of R.J. Johnson, your Wednesday night feature winner at Lawton, Oklahoma. In the number 12 car, Josh Pelkey. The 09 will be Josh Stephen. Brad Graham will pilot the 04. The 10C will be Jeremy Campbell. In the 17W, the young lady Harley White. She'll sit alongside Michael Carter in the 11C. Ty Miyako in the number 5, the 1X of Don Drow Jr. And then your 4 transfer cars from the B main, making up your championship event 30 times around here on this Wicks Builders Bumper to Bumper Auto Parts Harold LeepMemorial USAC Southwest Sprint Car Freedom Tour Championship. So we'll check the field again once into turn 3. Young lady Shannon McQueen right there in that number 7 outside row number 3. Off of turn number 4, look at him down. We're good to go. Down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. Working lap number 1. Magic Mike. Mike Martin in that number 16, your lead car down the backside into turn 3. Action back in the field. We'll keep an eye on those guys working around 3, number 4 off front straightaway. Meyer. Last night's feature winner, Brady Bacon in the number 99, running in that number 2 spot. So it's Martin and Bacon off of turn 4. Brady Bacon now takes a look. He'll back it down into that number 2 spot. Brady Bacon in that 99, challenging Martin for the top spot off of 4. Mike Martin trying to hold that car down on the bottom side. Does so that time. Brady Bacon keeping the pressure on into 3. Mike Martin, Brady Bacon, your top 2 off of 4. Rick Zeal in the 41 car, holding down that number 3 spot. Oh, we got a flip in turn number 2.
Bad flip in 2, Warren.
Car upside down over there on the backside of turn number 2 is going to bring us to a red situation. Magic Mike, the number 16, Mike Martin, takes the field into 3 and 4. Again, nobody wants to pass till they get by that orange cone there on the yellow tire. Looking at him off of 4, green flag waves. We're back underway into turn numbers 1 and 2. Your leaders down the backside into 3. It's Mike Martin in the 16 off of 4. Bacon. Brady Bacon knocking on the door right now. Rick Zeal, the 41W, holding into that number 3 spot. Here comes Johnson up on the top side. He'll back it down. R.J. Johnson in that 77M trying to work his way up through traffic. The green and white car right now running back there in the 6th spot. Martin able to hold off a couple of challenges right now from Brady Bacon. Bacon now looks to the top side of your leader off of 4. Brady Bacon as we go 3 wide momentarily down that back straightaway. Up there into that number 4 spot. We'll pick him up on the front side. Joe Woods Jr. Joe Woods Jr. in that 03, working the top side of the Speedway up into that number 4 position right now. R.J. Johnson going to jump up there as well over there off of 4. Your top 3 cars. Mike Martin in the 16. Brady Bacon is the 99. The 41W, Rick Zeal. Oh, caution out, spin over at 2. Joe Woods Jr. in that 03 went up to the top side of turns 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's, oh baby, something might be working up here.
I agree with you, man. I was watching him as well, Warren. He's picking them off one by one, and this restart, you watch. Those bottom 3 guys are going to be on the bottom, and they're just, you got to pedal when you're on the bottom. And he is just laying that right rear right on that cushion. You watch the launch he gets off at turn 2 and see if he can run them down.
The USAC Southwest Sprint Cars. Mike Martin in that number 16. Been his show. Brady Bacon, the number 99. Last night's feature winner right there in that number 2 spot. Rick Zeal rounds out your 3. Joe Woods Jr. jumps to the top side. He's looking at 3rd place. Is he going to get it down the back straightaway? Joe Woods Jr. in that 03. Now checking it out off of turn 4. Somebody better let somebody know. Here comes the 03 around the top side of the racetrack. Joe Woods, oh, he's going to drive it off the top of 3. Tough break for the Joe Woods Jr. 03, Scott.
Brady Bacon just learned a lesson. Watch him go through 1 and 2 on the high side.
Here we go, off of 4 with your lead cars. Martin, Bacon, Zeal. Brady Bacon did learn something off of that as he's moved that car up to the top side of 1 and 2. Oh, another flip in turn 1. Wow. Nose to tail again off the backside of turn number 1. So the red comes right out again as the situation off the backside of turn number 1. We're going to go back under green. R.J. Johnson in that 77M tries the top of 1 and 2. Didn't quite work for him there. He goes to the top of 3 and 4. We'll keep an eye on him as your leader off of 4. Martin. Mike Martin in that number 16. Down the backside, he's now into turn number 4. Rick Zeal in that 41W in the number 2 spot. Harley White in the 17W being shown in that number 3 position. So it's a 16 of Mike Martin. Rick Zeal, the 41W, the young lady. Harley White, the 17W, your top 3. Car rolling off the top side of turn number 4, going to bring us back to a caution. Caution lights have been turned off. Magic Mike Martin, the 16, brings the field down off of turn number 4. Once again, we go back under green. Johnson again jumps up there to the top side of 1 and 2. R.J. Johnson, the 77M. He's in the 5 spot right now. Drops it to the bottom. It's Martin off of 4. Mike Martin, Rick Zeal, the 41W, the young lady Harley White. Here comes R.J. Johnson. Johnson up into that number 4 spot. As your leader, Mike Martin, still able to hold the field off through 3 and 4. Working our way down inside of 10. Martin, Zeal, White. R.J. Johnson now on the backside of Harley White, backs it down just a little bit going into 3. Here's your top 5 working their way off of 4. Brady Bacon trying not to lose touch with your top 4 group. Right there, that number 99 rounding out the 5 as Martin, Zeal, White, Johnson, and Bacon. Your leader, Mike Martin, the number 16. A little comfortable margin this time off of turn 4. Zeal, White, R.J. Johnson, and Brady Bacon. Winding down your championship event, your leader, Mike Martin. Harley White trying to hold off R.J. Johnson, that 77M. Zeal, White. Harley White, the young lady trying to get into that number 2 spot on the back straightaway. Harley White into second. Here's your leader, White flag. White up to second. Harley White in the 17W. In that number 2 spot, R.J. Johnson now up into third. Off of 4, it's going to be Mike Martin. Harley White in second. Johnson zeal, and bacon. Well, there it is, down there into the books, 30 times around here at 81 Speedway for the Freedom Tour. Your third winner in as many nights, taking the win from your bumper to bumper. Wixfilter scoreboard over there inside turn number 1, driving the 16 car. They call him Magic Mike. Mike Martin will go down to the O'Reilly Auto Parts winner circle with Scott.
All right, we'll talk to the top 4 here shortly, and don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, after we look at the donuts right there, Magic Mike and donuts right there off at turn 4. There he is, climbing out of the car. Let him hear you, Wichita. Magic Mike Martin. Mike Martin, man, one great run for you.
Yeah, man, that was tough. Starting position meant a lot there, but holding on to that, knowing Brady's behind me, he's one of the best in the business, and as many restarts and reds we had there, we knew he's behind us, and we needed to make every corner count there, and I made a lot of mistakes, but thank God we held it together, and it's been a while since we've won, so we really needed this thing, and to come on the road out here and do this makes me feel really good.
Welcome back to the Grassroots Racing Show. I'm Doug Thompson with co-host Roger Thompson. Roger, that was some excellent racing at the Harold LeepMemorial at 81 Speedway.
And a fitting tribute to Harold it was. This was a run and hide by the winner of this race. I mean, he led all 30 laps, and it was a very good race. Wichita is a fast racetrack, and these guys proved it.
Yeah, and when you get up at Wichita, that track tends to get pretty glazed, pretty hard, and so position is very important. And if you can keep that momentum up, like Mike Martin did, and he's from Yuma, Arizona, and this is part of that 4-race series. They call that Freedom Tour, and they conclude their races at Dodge City. And man, that's a good series. That'll
be another fast track.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that USAC Southwest Sprint Car Special Series is excellent. Good racing, good cars, good drivers, and that was an excellent program.
Yes, and it was a very good tribute to Harold Leep. I saw Harold in 2012, summer of 2012. I was down there running a vintage car, and I spotted him and came up there and hollered at him and said, "Hi, I'm Harold Leep." And he said, "I wish you were." And we used to race Shippert cars for a time together, and we became pretty good buddies. But Harold told me a story. I said, "What have you been doing, Leep, since you quit racing?" And he said, "I had enough sense to quit racing." He said, "You haven't." He said, "I quit when I was 47. And I said, "Was that the time you and I got together down at the fairgrounds? I said, "You blew that engine and I came in and hit you and knocked the wind out of you, and you were sitting
your
on..."
teammate.
Yeah, my teammate, and he was 2 Shippert cars crashed, and he sat on that tire and said, "I think I'm going to give this up, Roger." And I think it was shortly after that he did. But anyway, Leep told me that he'd been fishing. And I said, "Leep, you're no fisherman." Typical Okie. He says, I said, "You're no fisherman, you're a racer." "Oh," he said, "I do pretty well." And I said, "What does that mean?" He said, "Well, I went down to Georgia, I guess." And he said, "I won a bass boat." "You won a bass boat fishing?" I said, "Did you have a teammate?" No, I went down there and fished by myself." And so then there was a pause, and he said, "And I won a Suburban to pull it with."
Yeah, and a trailer and a motor and...
Yeah, and all that stuff. And then he said, "And I also won $100,000. And I just about fell over backwards. So I said, "Well, Mr. Leep," I said, "that is an incredible story." And we had a very good time. He talked about some things that we'd done and racing things together. But when he told the story as only he can about his fishing, I just got the biggest kick out of the guy. And he was about 80 at that time, in very good health. He didn't look much different than usual. So a salute to you, Harold Leep, and to the guys that represented you here at Wichita.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks for watching. See you next time on the Grassroots Racing Show.